Okay, so step one is stop all grains and sugars. And at this point, everybody says, no, that's all I
think
eat.
they're saying, how can that be? How can we do that?
Right, almost impossible. So, but it isn't. It really isn't that hard once you get into it and once you learn how to do it. It's just kind of breaking old habits and creating new habits is essentially what you're doing. So let's talk about sugars first and why they're a problem for gaining weight. When you eat a sugar, and let's just say it's Coca-Cola, you drink Coca-Cola, happens is it goes into your stomach and it starts digesting, and then all that sugar rushes into your bloodstream. It's great. Your body's really excited. It can actually use that sugar. The basic energy source that your whole body runs off is glucose, which is a really simple form of sugar. And so your body's really happy. It'll run its muscles, runs your heart, runs your brain, runs your lungs, runs your digestion, all off of that sugar. So there's a certain amount of that sugar that's going to get used up in your body because you're doing things. And then there's a little bit of sugar that's going to get stored because your body really needs kind of a quick source of energy, and it'll store that sugar as something called glycogen. And glycogen is just a really easy energy source. Body turns it into glycogen, can turn it right back into sugar really quickly. It's kind of that energy that we use if you were to, say, not eat for 6 or 8 hours and go off running. Your body has enough energy to run off of that because it takes that glycogen and burns it. So, but the problem becomes what to do with the extra sugar. So we've used enough sugar to run our bodies. We've used enough sugar to store it in a quick form to get it out again. And your body's sitting around with all this extra sugar in its blood, and it's thinking, what can I do with this? And what it does with it is it stores it in a long-term storage called fat. And that's exactly what you don't want to happen.
Right.
You don't want your blood sugar to go up high enough that it gets stored as fat.
Right. And you're saying that there's enough of this kind of sugar in a Coca-Cola for this to happen?
Easily.
Yeah.
You know, and if people would just stop drinking Coca-Cola alone or sodas alone, then they'd find that a lot of people's weight would drop right there.
Wow.
Just that one simple thing. So then the other thing is grains. And so what most people are surprised about is that grains act almost exactly like sugars do in your body. If you were to feed someone a tablespoon of sugar, a couple tablespoons of sugar, and white bread, you'd find that their blood sugar does almost exactly the same thing. So to your body, the way sugars act are the way that grains act. And so that's why we have people remove all grains and all sugars as step one.
So when you're talking about grains, you're talking about any kind of rice or what exactly should we avoid when you say stop using grains?
So that's pasta, bread, yes, things like rice. Later on, if you want to get stabilized, we can talk more about eating proteins, carbohydrates, and fats in the right order to keep your blood sugar low. Mm-hmm. But in this first part of the diet, you definitely want to stay away from all grains. So barley and rice and on and on and on, anything like that, bread.